Hello everybody, and welcome back to another calm and peaceful day in California. So just a couple days after we filmed our last video, we got our first ever tsunami warning, which was very fun. Did you ever think in your life you were gonna see a tsunami warning?
Nope.
Where were you when the tsunami warning happened?
I was teaching a middle school PE class, and the kids were all like checking their watches and like, oh my god, there's a tsunami. And then one kid kept looking out the window like he could see it, and it was really freaking me out. I was standing there trying not to panic, but they were like, oh, we're in the hills, we'll be fine. I'm just like...
But anyway, in about the month after our last video, we finished up our semesters. So I finished out my rotation in my first lab with some field work, which was fun.
Mm-hmm.
The postdoc I was doing the rotation with took me out to some lakes and we collected some samples, and it wasn't ultimately very fruitful, but it was fun. Good practice to get, my hands dirty. And then we went home, and so I have a little montage of going home, which was so nice. It was so good to see family. It was our first time seeing our families since we left for California. I got to see Frankie, my baby. It was so much fun.
It was really, really nice.
Christmas trees, decorate the house with lights at night. Snow's on the ground, snow white so bright. In the fireplace is the Yule log. Beneath the mistletoe as we drink eggnog. The rhymes that you hear are the rhymes of carols. Like each and every year we bust Christmas carols. Christmas carols.
And then we came back the day before New Year's Eve because, in my opinion, New Year's Eve is a romantic holiday. And so we wanted to spend New Year's Eve together in our home, I guess. And so we flew in on the 30th and then spent the 31st together. We had some hors d'oeuvres, a nice, calm, peaceful night, and we have a little vlog from that as well. Hello, everybody. Happy New Year's Eve, the last day of 2024. We're going to bring you along for our celebration.
And we're gonna start by showing them the slippers that you're wearing.
Yeah, I'll give you a full outfit tour. So this is a hair towel that my mom got me for Christmas. And this is a Hosier shirt that my sister, Hosier?
No one knows.
Anyway, Connor, Ren, Emma, and I all went to the concert right before we graduated at college.
My baby, sweet as can be, she give me 2 legs just from kissing me. When my time comes around, let me gently cold out no rain, hold my body down, hold to it.
And Emma got me a shirt from the tour, and then my mom gave me these. They're sleeping puppies!
With ears.
And what are we making tonight?
We have a 3-part feast tonight of stuffed jalapeno peppers, baked brie, and...
homemade ranch with veggies to dip in.
Yes.
As a 3-course meal.
And I totally did not forget that 3-item list.
And we usually do pretty chill New Year's Eves. We're not big going out and partying people. We always watch When Harry Met Sally every year and like write New Year's resolutions. And we usually stay awake until like 12:01 and then go to bed.
Yes, not a second before because it's going to feel like 3:01 to us.
Yeah, we just got back from visiting our families for Christmas and we're a little bit in the wrong time zone. Perks of being engaged to a scientist is that there are always chemistry lab goggles lying around the house.
This is science.
We have so many jalapenos. Connor's car broke down, and so while it was at the mechanic, we had to place online delivery for food, and we did not realize how many jalapenos we asked for. So we're making enough for a party.
Mm-hmm.
A party of 2.
You took the bomb.
Cheers.
Cheers.
This is our last bottle of wine that Katie and Lindsay got us. It's a red blend. It's very good.
It's very good.
Can you imagine our kids watching this in like 20 years? Being like, wow, when our parents were in their young 20s, I wonder what they were up to in like San Francisco on New Year's Eve. And it's just us in our pajamas eating peppers.
Yes. We're going to raise them to know that this is the coolest cool.
And it's not because I'm lonely, and it's not because it's New Year's Eve. I came here tonight because when you realize you want to spend the rest of your life with somebody, you want the rest of your life to start as soon as possible.
You see? That is just like you, Harry. You say things like that and you make it impossible for me to hate you.
And then it was the new year, 2025. What a year it's been.
Oh my god.
Anyway, my tradition that my family always does is that if you don't eat black-eyed peas on January 1st, you're gonna have a bad year. And so I started the new year by making us a big kale black-eyed pea stew. That was delicious.
It was amazing.
It was so good. And then we also wanted to start off the year by doing some nature exploring, and so Connor actually picked out a hike.
I did pick out a hike. It's on the like bay side. You go past the highway and then out right to the water, and it's kind of marshy. For people familiar with the Eastern Shore, it was a lot like that. But we just kind of hiked around. We were under a small airfield, so there were like single-seater planes taking off and landing over us the whole time. It was really nice.
Hello everyone! We have become a little acquainted with the ocean, but feel we have not become acquainted with the bay. And so it's January 2nd, our first hike of the new year. We're gonna do a 5-mile loop called like North Bay Shore Loop.
Yes.
Yes.
I want to go up there.
And then something else that we started off the new year with is one of our Christmas presents from Katie and Lindsay was a bread maker, and we've been having a lot of fun with that. I've never had a bread maker before, and so we made some loaves, but then also we had a really fun date night where we made homemade pizza dough in the bread maker, and so that was really fun too.
It was so good.
My God, are you seeing this?
Whoa. That is crazy.
It's so nonsense.
Oh my god.
This is so much dough.
Holy. Yeah, that's a lot of. We created a monster.
Oh my God, I love it. Okay. The before.
What's that, Megan?
Chili oil. It's definitely not done diffusing yet, but that's okay.
Whoa, those are some weird looking pizzas. They look good though.
And speaking of cooking, we have made lots of wintry meals for the winter season. Like we said last video, we're really into seasonal cooking, and to me there's nothing that says winter quite like a curry. I just feel like it's like so warming. We've made lots of Thai curries and Japanese curries, and I also made a recipe that my friend Bethane and I used to make in college a lot. That's a curried butternut squash udon noodle soup that's so delicious. I made it for Connor for the first time. I also made shakshuka, which is a like Northern African and Middle Eastern dish. It was delicious, and it all was just so warm and wintry. And we actually got into a new tea as well. It's an African autumn tea. Do you remember what the main tea in it is called?
Ribos?
Ribos? I think it's Ribos.
Yeah.
Anyway, it's African autumn tea. Delicious. And so I feel like we've just been having lots of warm foods and liquids and cozy winter. I just realized I'm not wearing my engagement ring.
It'll be okay.
I'm so sorry. Anyway, we've made...
I do not care.
Okay. Just don't kiss me, I guess. That's what I get for not wearing my engagement ring, I suppose. And then we came back to reality because we had to start working again. And you can start. You have some big updates, actually.
Yeah, no, I'm in the process of learning Spanish, which is fun. I also picked
He's pretty
up...
fluent. I'm just gonna interrupt before we get into the next one. Well, okay, he's trying to learn because a lot of his students only speak Spanish, and so that way he can actually effectively teach them. And he changed it so his phone is in Spanish now instead of English, and all the directions he gets when he drives are in Spanish, and we watch soccer in Spanish now. And I'll be like, what are they talking about? And he always knows. So he's getting pretty fluent. He's getting conversational.
Google
He's getting
Translate is
conversational.
helpful, but in addition to that, I picked up a long-term sub job in a middle school that I've been at a bunch, so that was cool. I was actually requested by the teacher in the room, so that was kind of an ego boost, not gonna lie. I also am pet sitting a pit bull that lives one floor above us.
Jojo!
She's very sweet. She's 12 years old.
I'll put some pictures of Jojo up.
Yeah, she's got a lot of health stuff going on, but she's super fun, super sweet. Great to hang out with.
It's a little extra part-time job that he's picked up.
A little side hustle, if you will. But apart from that, the only other really big news is that I got accepted into Berkeley's teacher education
UC
program.
Berkeley, like one of the best schools ever.
But very excited about that.
He got into a master's program at UC Berkeley. He's downplaying it. This is crazy,
no,
and we just found it out yesterday.
I'm really excited. So it was a 2-part interview. The first part was over Zoom, and I feel like I just like didn't answer questions well, and I was like super nervous, and I was like, oh my god. But the second part of the interview was in person, and I actually had a really great like organic conversation with the professor interviewing me.
Who
to
happened
the point where,
to be
like, the program coordinator or whatever.
Yeah.
But they were paired interviews, so it was me and someone else, and we ended up talking to this professor for like an hour over the end of the interview because we were the last people, and we just started talking about the program and about the different stuff. So that went super well. I really liked the city, and then I found out yesterday that they were low on applicants this year, and it took me.
No, but it's so exciting because Connor is really into UC Berkeley's program because they have a really social justice oriented teaching program that's really about how to be like an effective, inclusive teacher, and it kind of aligns with the kind of teacher that Connor wants to be really nicely, and it was one of his top choices from the very beginning, and so this is super exciting.
So excited.
And he hasn't gotten his decisions back from everywhere yet, but this is definitely a big contender. And so we actually went out last night to celebrate because my parents sent us money to go out to dinner to celebrate because they were so happy for you, and we went to this delicious Jamaican restaurant. And, oh my god,
it was so good.
We got jerk tofu and coconut curry tofu, like splitsies, and it came with sides of rice and beans and plantains. So good.
Yeah, fantastic. 10 out of 10.
And then I started my new rotation, which has been really exciting. It's actually in the lab that I wrote in my admissions essay that I was most interested in joining. So it's a lab I've had my eye on for a really long time with this kind of young new professor who's made a name for herself in plant synthetic biology. But I'm working more on the plant-associated microbe side of things, and the specific project I'm working on is pretty complicated and technical, but I guess a really vague, broad summary is that there's this specific method of engineering bacteria that she designed during her PhD, but it only works sometimes for some species of bacteria and not for other species of bacteria. So I'm trying to figure out why it works for some and not other bacteria, like what specific genes might be necessary for the DNA to get incorporated, and then if there's anything we can do to engineer a broader host range to make it more effective for engineering consortia of bacteria in the soil, for example. And I'm really excited by the project. I think it's super interesting. It's admittedly been a bit of a tough couple months in general for academia. We won't get into it just because this is supposed to be a silly, fun little update, but the NIH and NSF are both sort of being defunded right now, and those are the main funders of research, main funders of research in this country. And so, like, labs pay graduate students through their NIH and NSF grants, and given that it's pretty uncertain whether those organizations are going to continue to be funded at the level that they've historically been funded, my professors that I've been talking to are all really nervous about whether or not they're going to continue to be able to afford to do their research. And the graduate students and postdocs and other staff in the labs are all pretty nervous about whether or not professors will be able to continue to fund them. Anyway, we do have some exciting news where I've been working on a paper from my undergrad research for years, and we finally submitted it.
Sorry, the snaps were like half a beat too early.
We finally submitted it, and I'm going to be the first author on it, which is really exciting. And so that's now out there in the world. It's been out for about a month in the inbox of the editor, and we'll hear back.
You cite in the paper, right?
Yeah, so that's that's good for us, I guess. But it's out like public access, but it hasn't been peer reviewed yet and like actually published. And so we're waiting to get comments from the editor back, and I'm sure we'll have to make some revisions if they even accept it. So it should be fun. But anyway, we can stop talking about work now, the boring part, and get to the fun things that you all want to see, like all of our videos of our adventures and shenanigans.
Shenanigans is a good word.
So we've continued to be big Stanford sports fans, but our soccer and football season is over, which is so sad. But we've gotten to be really big Stanford basketball fans.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it's been incredible. We've gone to a bunch of games at this point. Saw them crush Tech, as in of Virginia. And lose to Wake Forest and Cal Poly.
But we've been watching both the men's team and the women's team play, and they're both so fun. And actually, we'll bring you tonight because Stanford's basketball team, the men's team, is playing UC Berkeley's team, which is our
Golden
biggest
Bears.
rival. So if Connor decides to go to Berkeley, it's a little bit of a Romeo and Juliet love story for us because Golden Bears and trees do not talk. And then for my first rotation, the postdoc that I was doing the rotation...
Sorry.
The postdoc that I was doing my first rotation with and his wife invited Connor and I to San Francisco to have dinner with them where they live, because she actually goes to Berkeley, and so they live in San Francisco, which is sort of in the middle of the two. And I really hadn't seen much of San Francisco yet, and so Connor and I decided that even though we were invited for dinner, we were going to get there to San Francisco like at around lunchtime and just spend the day in San Francisco and then get dinner with them at the end of the day. And it was so much fun. I am now a firm believer that San Francisco is the prettiest city in the country. It's just a crazy mix of like beautiful, like big city vibes with so much fun stuff to do, but then also stunning nature too. There's like, you'll be on the Pacific Ocean just in San Francisco, and you'll be hiking through the woods in San Francisco. It's just a really unique city that offers so much.
It really is topographically dynamic as well. There's like tons of vistas and valleys and some roads that when you like are at a stoplight and you take your foot off the brake, you start rolling backwards. We'll cut that out.
No, I like that. So, Connor has been to San Francisco a lot more than me because he's friends with somebody who lived there briefly, like as in a couple months ago. And so he was doing some exploring of San Francisco before his friend moved to Oakland across the bay. But he knew of a really good hiking spot called
Land's End
Trail, which we have a little vlog from that you'll see in a second. And then we went to the dinner, and then their apartment is like in the heart of San Francisco, and they have a beautiful view of the city from the street that they live on, and so you'll see that as well.
Absolutely stunning. The like city skyline was beautiful. The like Oakland Bridge in the background, just a super beautiful place.
And it was so sweet because they're not vegetarian, but for dinner they made homemade from scratch vegetarian meatballs with pasta, and they made a banana bread for dessert. And they actually, that was where we were introduced to the rubus tea. Because they served us that tea, and we loved it so much that we went out and got some the next day. And then it was football playoff season for the NFL. Stanford did not make it into football playoffs.
Especially not in the NFL.
Yeah. That's what I was implying. And it was And it was a particularly fun playoff season for us because in the NFC Championships, which is the game before the Super Bowl and the winner goes to the Super Bowl, it was the Commanders versus the Eagles. What? And so that was like our Super Bowl because it was our two teams playing, and we have a little vlog from that. Today is Sunday, January something.
26.
For the first time in my lifetime, the Commanders are having a really good season, and we're one game away from the Super Bowl if we win this game, and it's against none other than the Eagles.
Fly Eagles!
This is a big day for Connor and I, because I've been watching Commanders games since I was a wee little lass, and Connor's been watching Eagles games since he was a wee little lass, and so we get to watch our teams play each other, and whoever wins goes to the Super Bowl, and I have never seen the Commanders in the Super Bowl, so because they haven't played the Super Bowl my whole lifetime. The Eagles were just in it like a year or two ago.
It's like every other year or something like that. We don't really count.
And so this is a big day for Connor and I. We're making spinach artichoke dip. And I'm getting jalapeno seeds everywhere. But we're in a rush because the game starts in like 2 minutes. We're going to the Super Bowl!
Whoa! Wow.
Nobody look at the score.
What score?
Nice. So the Commanders, after this big in team history, it's been a
Yeah. It's my mom's recipe. Ah! Move your hand, move your hand! Ah!
Woo! I'm the most emotional neutral. Anyway, what happened, Megan? Yeah, so how'd that game go? I'll answer. The Eagles absolutely steamrolled the Commanders, but the Commanders have a really exciting future. I'm sure that they'll do better in the rematch in the NFC Championships if they make it to play the Eagles that far next year. Because the Eagles will be there. That's a foregone conclusion.
Anyway, and then it was the Super Bowl, and so against every fiber of my being, I was rooting for the Eagles just because I did not want to see the Chiefs win.
Yeah.
And so that was fun. Philly cheesesteak for my favorite Philadelphia fan.
Thank you.
That was beautiful.
Good, because I might throw up.
Oh no. And then it was Valentine's Day, which was special. And hold on, let me show you. And then, just to show you, to be, what did I say? To be known is to be loved. Because this is what Connor made me to ask me to be his Valentine. And then the next day in the mail, without them having coordinated it, this is the card that my parents sent me for Valentine's Day. It's the same Snoopy. I love Snoopy. And then Connor also got me a box of chocolates that was Snoopy themed too, of Hershey's Kisses, and at the bottom of all the kisses was pictures of different Snoopy characters. So I had a very Snoopy Valentine's Day. What? And we decided to have 2 Valentine's Day dates just because 2 really exciting things were happening kind of back to back around Valentine's Day, and we really wanted to do both. And so we've already decided we're not doing anything for our anniversary in March to make up for having a way more expensive Valentine's Day than we wanted to. But first, on Thursday, the day before Valentine's Day, we
Went to the Exploratorium in San Francisco. They
which is a
had
children's science museum, but on Thursday nights they do an after dark event that's 18 up only, and there's like adult themed content in addition to the whole children's museum being open.
So it was really, really cool.
Yeah.
We saw a bunch of exhibits.
This themed one was called Sexplorations because it was the Valentine's Day themed one, and so we got to do some really fun exhibits, like watch a live sea urchin fertilization where they fertilized a sea urchin egg under a live microscope, which was so cool. And there was also a bull testicle dissection, and we got to see a lesson on the physics of pole dancing, where they were talking about different pole dancing moves and the like forces that are able to keep people on a pole when it looks like they're like floating. And then we got to see a pole dancing performance afterwards, which is really cool. Am I forgetting any of the themed stuff? I think it's this.
All of the themed stuff you got, but there was also a ton of exhibits. Well, the museum itself is also open, so you get to see all the like science exhibits, like demonstrating how radio works, like a little experiment where it takes like a high resolution photo of water dropping, just random stuff like that.
Yeah, it's cool stuff with lights and mirrors and fun tricks of the ice. So we'll play our little vlog from that now.
Dude, what a shot. Look at that.
Oh, the palm trees too.
Take me to your best friend's house, going round this roundabout. Oh.
Where are you, Megan?
And then on Saturday, the day after Valentine's Day, that was when the Chinese New Year festival was in San Francisco. So obviously Chinese New Year happens well before that, but the festival's always delayed afterwards. I'm not actually sure why. But we went to the Chinese New Year festival in Chinatown in San Francisco, which was so unbelievably cool. One of the coolest experiences I've ever had. So cool. And we went up early and just walked around Chinatown a little bit because neither of us had been to Chinatown before, which is just so cool. It's a very pretty place. And then we went and got dinner at a vegan Chinese restaurant called Lucky Creations.
Yeah.
So good. We got
Completely vegan.
Yeah, which is like, normally there's not a lot of good vegetarian Chinese food options in places I've been before, and so the fact that we could pick anything off the menu was so exciting. We got pan-fried noodles with mushrooms and carrots and cabbage, and then we got these like fried dough stuffed eggplant and peppers.
So good.
Delicious. And they had tea. They brought a kettle of tea they would bring out for just $1. It was so good. And then it was the Chinese New Year festival.
Yeah, it was incredible. So there's this massive parade that they do pretty much through like downtown San Francisco, but ending up in Chinatown.
And even though we had spent the day in Chinatown, we walked the parade route towards the beginning, which was outside of Chinatown, just because I was sick and Connor was sick for the Super Bowl, but I was sick in time for Valentine's Day. I got whatever he had, and so we marched to the beginning of the parade route just so that we could get out of there a little earlier.
Yeah, no, and it was incredible. The parade itself lasted like 2 hours, 15 minutes or something, but we had like tons of different school groups and like marching bands and stuff, had a ton of lion dancers. You guys will know what that is if you don't in a second. And just a lot of dragons and snakes because it was Year of the Snake. And just overall,
looks like a snake. It's a little bit on theme, even though it's not a snake.
A little bit. Just a really, really incredible parade. Lots of firecrackers and other exploding things.
Yeah, really, I think my favorite thing that we did this year.
100%.
Very cool.
Agreed.
Look at this, so cool.
And that's about what we've been up to. I think it's been a really fun couple of months.
I agree.
And we have a really fun spring coming up too. I'll give a little teaser just for some stuff that you can expect in the next vlog, where Connor and I are really trying to be frugal and save money, especially since he's going to be starting a master's program next year. But Stanford keeps giving away tickets for stuff for like $10, and we just can't help it. And so we're going to 2 concerts in the spring, one of which I had bought for Connor as a birthday present, and then the other one we got through Stanford for so cheap for such an exciting artist, which is really exciting, but I won't tell you who. You have to wait till the spring. And then we also got $10 tickets to see a Major League Soccer team play as well. And so yeah, lots of fun stuff coming up in the spring.
Mm-hmm. It's gonna be exciting.
But I think that about sums up our couple months that we've had over this winter in California. It's now officially warm out, so I think it is now spring. And like I said, tonight when we bring you to the basketball game so you can watch Stanford beat Cal. And then that's about it. Hello, it's Megan from the future giving you a little update. So we ended up going with a couple of my friends from my department and my cohort. You'll see us all in our little cowboy hats in the picture here. And Stanford did end up beating Cal, which you'll see in a second. It was like tied 61-61 with 30 seconds left in the game. It was a super crazy big rivalry win, super fun. And so we ended up going out to celebrate afterwards to San Jose. We went to a bar and ended up going clubbing till like 1 a.m. Very long night. It's an update from a very sleepy Megan this morning, but enjoy us beating Cal.
It's the last home game against Cal. You got to win. How's it feel?
Feels great. It's been a big day. We haven't swept that, so yeah. Everybody, thank you for showing up. I'm experienced weekend. Everybody, let's get lit tonight.
Let's go!